Hey, let's go live on Facebook. Okay. Hello, everybody. Okay, welcome everyone. Here is your Down and Dirty Thursday live. Welcome. My name is Coach Vuyanzi Rodman. Sorry, I'm trying to find okay, I like this one better. My name is Vuyanzi Rodman, and I am a transformational life coach. I help Black women leaders make career transitions with ease. I help visionaries clarify and go for their visions. I'm helping to impact the world with women leaders who are going out and making massive impact. If you ever want to get in touch with me because you want a 45-minute coaching strategy session, you are always welcome. So let's get into it. Today, our topic is tapping into your inner guidance for financial decisions, tapping into your inner guidance for financial decisions. So I ask you to take notes, and also, if you come here on the replay, make sure you say replay. Also, as we're going through this, in the end, we're actually going to do the activity together. As much as we can, I can't hear you, but you can hear me. So we're going to do the activity together as much as we can. So here we go, and away we go. So first, again, tapping into your inner guidance system for financial decisions. We think about financial decisions, all types of financial decisions that we have to make. And we can look at them. I'd love for you to tell me any financial decisions that you need to make. Maybe it's something simple as whether I buy this top. This top was actually a bad decision. I like it, but it doesn't fit me very well anyway. So, whether to buy a house. I mean, our financial decisions cover the gamut, right? There's a wide range of financial decisions that we make. But how do we tap into our inner guidance system to make sure we are making decisions that are right? We don't have a crystal ball. We don't know, but we do have an inner guidance system, which many times knows what is best. So even actually, and I'm just thinking about this, let's even think about, well, you know what, actually, we'll get to that, but inner guidance system, right? So we're talking about a compass, if you will. I'm touching my gut here, a compass that guides. We'll talk more about that in a bit. So number one, tapping into your inner guidance system is prayer. Number one is prayer. Please write that down. But I want you to understand something, right? Because when we're talking about prayer, I know we may pray, but it's the talking, right? You are talking to God. You are talking to the spiritual being. And even when we think about it, as we pray, like, how are we praying? Because some people are thinking that just God is in the sky, but he, depending upon your belief, he's inside of you already. So even when we're praying, we're given specific instructions. Let me give you this, that in Hebrews Hebrews 4, that's chapter 4, and the verse is 16, it says, let us then with confidence draw near to the throne of grace. That's pray that we may receive mercy and find grace to help, right? We're talking about financial decisions in the time of need. So let me say that all together. Let us then with confidence draw near to the throne of grace that we may receive mercy and find grace to help in the time of need. That's Hebrews 4 and 6. So even in thinking, praying isn't about begging, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. I mean, sometimes we may be going through something like that. However, you can approach prayer with confidence. So number one is prayer, but remember what I said, right? That's the talking part. And I love what Bob Proctor says that leads me to number two. Number two is listen. He said, it's like intuition is God speaking to us. Write that down, and you could write in the chat. Intuition is God speaking to us. Intuition is God speaking to us. So let's go back to the inner compass, the inner guidance. When we're thinking about financial decisions, there's an answer. Have you ever had a situation and you could say yes or no to this? Have you ever had a situation, financial decision, and you made this decision, maybe things went really, really wrong, but in the end, if you kind of reflect, there was this small voice that was like, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. I'm sure all of us have had times like that where that happens. That's your intuition. That's in a way we can think of it as God speaking, because here's the thing. It's not about talking to God. We need to be able to listen to what is being said to us about these financial decisions. And really, I mean, we're talking about financial decisions, but we're looking at it in an even greater perspective here, because, are we listening for God? Are we following the instructions that are given to us? We use the word intuition. Sometimes we say we had a gut feeling. Other words you might say, oh, I had a hunch to do something. Still, sometimes you may hear people say, well, I heard a small voice. So let's think about all these things, right? If God is speaking to us through our intuition in these different types of ways, we need to be in a position of stillness. Let me just see something. Okay. We need to be in a position of stillness. We need to be in a position to listen. If we're crowding our minds, we're pray, but we're not listen, and we're crowding our minds, we're not giving ourselves a chance to sit down and hear what the voice of the Lord is telling us, what our inner compass is telling us, that's a problem. So what do? Get quiet. Stillness. There's a verse that says, be still and do what? And know I am God. Because in the stillness, there is knowing. These are direct connections here. In the stillness, there is the knowing. When you know, what do you feel? You feel confident. Are you feeling confident just in your flesh? No, it shouldn't be. It should be in the God within you. It should be God that lives inside of you. So the stillness. The other way is to meditate. And you see me looking at my notes here because I want to make sure. So what do we say meditate? Meditate isn't about, I'm sorry. Okay, let me say this. There's different types of meditating. However, you really won't hear me talk about clearing your mind, because our subconscious mind is always going, even when we're asleep. Right? So we're always going, but even separating yourself. So in Genesis 24:63, it's talking about, I think it was Isaac. It said he went out into the field to meditate. Now, if you want to read the whole context of the verse, that's fine. It had to do with the woman he would marry, what was it, Rebecca. However, here's the point. It said he went out into the field. He separated himself to meditate. Queen, I'm going to ask you this. What do you do in order to hear God? What do you do in order to hear the answers to these financial decisions that you have to make? Well, there's a hint there. Separate yourself. Then Philippians 4:8, because sometimes we're separating ourselves, but then we still have the thoughts. So Philippians 4:8 gives us another hint here. It says, finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think or meditate on these things. So even when you separate yourself, you may not hear anything right away, but you can just focus on things that are true, things that are honest, things that are just, things that are pure, things that are lovely, things that are of good report. Because that leads us to number 3, when we're looking at the inner guidance system to make financial decisions. When you focus on these things, what does it do? It higher your vibration. It improves or heightens, maybe that's the better word, heightens your level of vibration. We've been talking about vibration. It heightens your frequency so that you can now begin to attract the things that are good, attract the right answers. When we're in a negative space, we cannot receive. When you're in a more higher vibration, you can do what? You can receive answers. So now let's put this into context. What financial decisions do you have to make? Some of them are about purchases. Some of them are about what investments to make. Some of it is about where to give your money to. Let's say you give your first fruits. Let's say you give 10% to your church, but you want to donate to an orphanage or I say Alzheimer's Society, not society, Alzheimer's, whatever they have, the organization to help raise money, Alzheimer's research, whatever it might be. Maybe it's about how much you should give your child each week for their chores. Yeah, I just said that. I didn't say allowance. I said how much you should give them for chores. You get paid. Why shouldn't they? That's a whole nother thing. You have a problem with that, you can let me know. So now, just lost my train of thought. So now thinking about those decisions. So I want you to come up with a single decision that you have to make, a single financial decision, and just write that down. We're going to do this together. And right now, I think it's more like doing it by myself. Hopefully you watch this and you do it too. So you write down the one financial decision that's important right now, that may be the most pressing. Maybe even a financial decision is, do I stay at my job? Do I open up this business? Just think about how you can use this. Now, you've written it down. All right, let's go from here. Now, you're like, prayer is the first thing, right? How can you pray? Well, we already said with confidence. And now, before I have you say your own prayer, we can even take a hint from Philippians. Oh, yeah, we're back to Philippians again. Hold on one second. I want to read it as it is. And also, I think I'm going to go live tonight. I'm live here. I think I'm going to go live on Instagram. So here's the way to pray before you do this exercise. Be anxious for nothing. So take that worry around that financial decision just for a moment. Just breathe, just breathe, just breathe, okay? Be anxious for nothing. Then it says, but in everything by prayer and supplication. So supplication is asking. So it's asking a request. And specifically, I want to be specific when I say this. You're asking there was a word that the dictionary used, in an earnest way. So you're really being earnest about this to God. So it says, let your requests be made known. That's when you let your requests be made known. understanding will guard your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus. Now, I know we have all different types of religions that may be here, but these are, you want to count it as ancient text, and fine. However, expect peace, expect and receive peace about the financial decision in the meantime. Okay, and so I want you first, and I want to, okay, and actually I'm going to take a few seconds for you to go ahead and pray about that financial decision, starting now. Okay. So your amens, okay? And now, as you wait for that answer, you meditate. Remember what we said, you're meditating on what is good, what is lovely, what is pure. And then you listen. So I want you even jot down, when will you meditate? When will you take that moment to listen to the small voice, if you will, inside of you? You're jotting this down. Now, finally, think about what that verse says, and the peace of God, which surpasses understanding, will guard your hearts. So that's really a faith move, believing that you're going to have peace about a thing that you may be kind of not feeling so peaceful about. So I'm going to say something that may feel counterintuitive. After you have prayed, detach from the outcome. Detach from the outcome. Just believe that you're going to receive the answer. Detach from it, though. And what do I mean by that? If you stay in a state of, oh God, what's the answer? What's the answer? That state of desperation. Where's that vibration? Is it up here or is it down there? The state of desperation puts you in a vulnerable place. You won't be able to hear what you're supposed to hear, to receive what you're supposed to receive. So it is, and it lacks belief. That state of desperation, it's a lack of belief. Okay, so let's go further. If you have a lack of belief, you have a lack of faith. If there's a lack of faith, you cannot receive that very thing that you're hoping to receive. I know it's a lot that's here. So I want you to take your thoughts, write them all down. I'm going to tell you this, for those of you who are on Facebook, if you're tired of doing this alone, please reach out for a coaching strategy session and we'll sit down together and strategize. Maybe you have some decisions, period, that you have to make, and you want to cultivate your inner guidance system. I actually help people to do that too in my coaching program, the Career Passion Accelerator program. So that's it for today. We've gone over these couple of things. It's prayer, it's intuition, and it is vibration. Hopefully you got something from this today, and thank you for tuning in. Talk to you later.